Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another One Piece manga review. This is the chapter 1100 review. I'm joined as always by my guys, Jazz and Verson. I am ecstatic. Let me let y'all know we had the other episode ready to drop, but by the time Monday came for us to drop it, the spoilers for this was out on Monday. So it was like, do I even put it out? But don't worry. The thing that was holding this podcast back, aka my job, is gone. If you want more information on that, listen to the Bros Who Think podcast. But just know, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a day one listener to the network, Old Lynn is back. And I apologize. I'm apologizing on every show. I'm apologizing for how new Lynn let y'all down. I know we did some amazing things this past year and a little bit of last year. We done some fire things and we grown. But I have not been giving y'all that consistency that y'all deserve. And just know 2024 from now until next year, the end of next year, oh, you about to see a monster. We streaming. We giving you content every single day. It's about to be fucking lit. One Piece wise, trying to give y'all 2 videos a week, maybe more, depending on how much my guy's trying to do, how much we can think of. We're not trying to overdo it, but we giving y'all that heat and that fire. So just be ready. Like I said, I'm saying sorry on every show. I apologize to you, the people who support us. Just know we about to take off. But joining me as always, we got Jazz and Verson. I'll start with Jazz. Jazz, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I need a box of Oda for this chapter, bro. I'm not
okay. We'll talk about it in a second. Verson, how you doing, brother?
Well, I had a hard day at work or whatever with some stuff, but yesterday Henry Kissinger died, so I'm doing fucking great.
Goodbye to that was great news.
9. Goodbye, farewell. Arvita saying,
rest as we told the queen, rest in piss, bozo. Shout out to my guy Reg. I'm sure he gonna say that on Bros Who Think. That is a Reg thing. But glad to that everybody's doing well. This is chapter 1100. Thank you, Bonnie. The way we do this, we do a brief summary if you're new, and then we go and do a deep dive on everything. I'll do the brief summary, and then I want to ask y'all a question. So chapter starts off, we see Kizaru and Vegapunk talking. Kizaru tells Vegapunk, you should have checked for all the bugs, and maybe they wouldn't have heard you. You should have known you would have been bugged, aka Saturn bugged him, heard everything. Saturn presents an offer to Kuma. It's either this offer or go to jail, nigga. Bonnie gonna die. And Vegapunk's like, nah, I'm not accepting this. He was like, shut up. You just a scientist. You work for me, nigga. I don't listen to you. Kuma's like, don't worry about it. I'll do it. AKA agree to be a warlord and to lose his memory and to be this human cyborg for the government as long as they save Bonnie. We find out Bonnie's operation takes about a year. Kuma's takes 2 years. And then Kuma and her spend some time together before they have to say farewell forever. Kuma gets it to where Bonnie can be dropped off at the Sorbet Kingdom. We see Grandma Connie, so we kind of get an idea from where those references come from. And then we see a nurse that the government left there in case Kuma tries to escape now that Bonnie's healthy, but Kuma's not doing that. Kuma goes back. They finish the surgery. We then see all the different warlords react to it. We see Whitebeard react to it, Ace, and the rest of the warlords, and Dragon and the revolutionaries react to it. And basically, we then end the chapter with Kuma appearing at Fuchsia Village to see none other than a Monkey D. Luffy. Now, let me ask y'all, was this chapter great as the 1100 chapter? I feel like personally, it's a good chapter. I'm not hating on it, but maybe I had my expectations too high for 1100. I wanted some fighting, some ass, something. Where this is a great emotional chapter, and if you love Kuma, you should love this chapter. And the flashback's coming to an end now. And personally, there's a lot of things I liked about this chapter, but I don't know if I loved it how I expected to love 1100. Now you can go ahead, Jazz, and then we'll go to verse and see how y'all feel about it.
Man, see, I have the opposite reaction. Like you said, I feel like a lot of people, because people
we
like
did
to
it
play
to
the
ourselves.
numbers
It's
game
not
with Oda.
Oda fault.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
yeah. Like people like to play the numbers game with Oda, so people are like, oh, 1,000 chapters after he was introduced Dragon. But like, can I just be frankly honest? Can I be frank here?
Yes, sir.
Whole time I was reading this chapter, I ain't give one damn about Dragon. I was like, man, because like because I feel like this encapsulates a lot of stuff, and I love chapters that kind of like keep the puzzle pieces to put all the puzzle pieces together. So it's like we're getting closer to that range to when Luffy kind of went out to sea, but then it's like we're seeing all the pieces move before, like how we see the warlords and Bartholomew Kuma become a warlord, how he lost his freedom. And while it's like I would have enjoyed like an action-packed chapter, I'm like, you know what? These are the chapters I live for, man. Like this, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest, I don't read One Piece for the fights. I read it for stuff like this.
No, so and look, that is this was very fair. And I think, and I'll let you go, Verson. I think for me, like you said, we did it to ourselves as fans. I can't be mad at Oda. This is a great One Piece chapter for that wholesomeness. For me, when I read One Piece, I read it for epic moments. I think One Piece has some of the best epic moments and the best world building. I read One Piece for world building, epic moments, and then I would say wholesomeness and fights are like after. And I think the story is amazing. Did this give me an epic moment? No. Did this give me good story and world building? Yes. Did it give me wholesomeness? Yes. So that's why I think I like to love this chapter. Don't really love to like, holy shit, this is one of the best chapters. You know, that like I'm not saying I hate it. I don't hate it by any means, because it's great world building and it gives me things that I love about One Piece, but it's just I overhype myself up for an epic touchdown moment of Kuma touching down the giant robot or even Dragon.
Yeah, it just won't be on a milestone chapter. Like, I mean, look,
and see, I think Oda likes doing that too.
But like, so it's like,
Oda likes to do that as well sometimes, where you get the big number and then a couple chapters, like 2 chapters later, the epic moment happens. He mixes it up from time to time. So the epic moment could come at 1,105. So, but what you got, Verson? How'd you feel about the 1,100th chapter of One Piece?
So I will say this. I think our big one was probably 1,000. I think expecting another big banger, just a short 100 chapters, short 100. But 100 chapters after that might be a little bit asking too much. And I respect Oda not trying to rush this or cut from other parts of the arc to make that milestone. I come from a fandom that I also love a lot, like One Piece, called Homestuck, where we would get big batches of updates and drops, and it was almost like a cultural thing for when it would drop. And some numbers meant a lot more than others. But I always thought that sometimes some things would happen just for us to get a pop off. I think we did have an epic moment this chapter. I think Kuma crying, accepting his fate, I think that was an epic moment. Obviously not the exact same way you mean, but I think that represents everything about One Piece that isn't the fights. And also we have to keep in mind, this makes all the fights that are about to happen whenever we get back to the normal time. It will matter so much more. Like, we got Kizaru stuff. We got Vegapunk stuff. We got Kuma stuff. We even got Saturn stuff. All of this is what makes the fights important,
Sure, and I'll say this.
We did have sort of a roster call.
I think my favorite moment of this chapter isn't necessarily even Kuma. I think it's the Kizaru shit for me. And now we can dive in and talk about the chapter. And that's where I want to start. I think Kizaru is unclear justice because he's torn. I think Kizaru, we thought he's this company man that follows every order to a T. I don't know if this Egghead arc is ending this way. I think Kizaru may betray the world government and leave, because seeing the moments he shared with Kuma, Bonnie, Vegapunk, Sentomaru, I think when Kuma gets there and they start speaking that truth, Kizaru did the damn Nika dance, bro. Like, I don't know if I'm seeing Akainu do the damn Nika dance. Like,
which is crazy. I never thought I would see an admiral do the Nika dance.
Yes,
this is crazy.
And if an admiral, not this one, maybe Aokiji, maybe Fujitora, maybe Garp, not Kizaru. I'm sorry.
Yeah, guys, look, in between the shots of the Master Giant Pizza, which Bonnie still has her thing, Kizaru, Kuma, Bonnie in the middle, Sentomaru, and Vegapunk. Like, you also had my live reaction whenever I sent it into the DM. I was like, Oda's a monster. They were a family.
Yeah, legit.
Right.
For a whole year, it doesn't look like any of them really left. They were just there, eat and drink and breaking bread, talking about stuff, talking about everything.
There's
like you
no
said,
way
the
he's
Nika
going to
dance,
be able to
the
follow
Don
through
Toto,
with it.
like,
there's no way.
yeah, and like we even get the start. I will say we even get the start of the chapter where, like way at the start, Kizaru's like, I mean, I am a company man. And how last chapter at the end, Vegapunk's like, what, you're a Buccaneer? Don't tell me that shit. Don't tell me you're a Buccaneer. I'm part of the government. You cannot tell me that.
Right,
and Kizaru hits him with
a lot of it.
You should have debugged it better. You should have known and trying to tell, like, it's like, bro, I know you do not want to hurt these people. Like, it's coming. It is coming.
Yeah.
Or if he does hurt him, he's gonna cry his eyes out.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's possible that I don't know. I want Kizaru to fact because I don't think he ever had like a loyalty, like, because that's another thing that's like been a big part of it. Like, and the thing about Unclear Justice is like we've never really seen him like loyal like that. Like he's very much like a company man, but the thing about being a company man means that whenever you want to do like Anonymous from JJK and you want to quit your fucking job, or you do it like a Len from real life and you want to quit your fucking job, what's keeping him? He has no love for the Celestial Dragons or anything. Like, fuck him,
And that's why I think it's coming. That was probably my favorite moment of the chapter, is just seeing Kizaru humanized and seeing more to him, because we don't know. We knew a lot about Aokiji, but we didn't know anything really about Kizaru. We knew some things about Akainu, but Kizaru not so much. And it's like we're learning so much about him through this flashback. Another moment that, and then y'all can just go ahead as we jump through the chapter. Y'all can pick up the next spot. We talk about seeing Kuma go through that surgery and basically turn into the Terminator. Crazy. All the wires coming out of him. It's just like, oh, this guy gave up his humanity. I feel for him.
I know it's been 78 time, but best dad in One Piece, period.
Oh yeah, he has to be. There's no other dad on his level, bro. Like maybe Whitebeard, Pops, but like it's Kuma, and then shortly on Whitebeard, and then all the other shitty One Piece dads.
I mean, they got some good One Piece dads, man. They got Zeph.
Oh yeah, Zeph. I forgot about Zeph. Tom.
But a lot of the good One Piece dads are
dead,
though.
And they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but also it goes to show
they're dead
that
or they're hanging out somewhere.
Blood doesn't necessarily make you family. It's the interactions that make you family. It's the small things that you do. Whereas Zeph was Sanji's dad, and Sanji's real dad was a piece of shit.
This is true. Then Smoke Judge.
Where you want to go, Jazz, or where you want to go, Verse, and wherever somebody will go wherever y'all want to
go. So the whole back and forth, right, with Saturn Vegapunk and Kuma, with Kizaru sitting in the room. Now look, I'm not saying that Saturn has an agenda against Kuma, but Saturn has an agenda against Kuma. I think Saturn's holding on to God Valley so hard because it's like, I understand his stance though. I get it. At least Saturn is standing on business, because he's like, you can't have a pirate be like the face of what we're about to represent, because that would make us look crazy. But then it's also like you have the warlord, so it's like you kind of already teetering on
looking crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So
and I get why he's like, we can't make no deals with y'all. Like, y'all are pirate. Right. Like, I am the Celestial. This is what he's supposed to do. I wouldn't expect anything. This is making him a great villain that deserves to be capped.
Right. And even like this part, I had like, even though I don't like to agree with it, Saturn's like, this procedure would be pretty expensive. And you know what? We basically have no obligation to help this girl. And I mean, that's facts. At the end of the day, like, that's facts. So
we don't have universal health care.
That's right.
And I will say also, and on top of that, he also is like, also, not only you're a pirate, you're one of the 3 people who started the Revolutionary Army.
Like, right?
Yeah, like that. Like, don't get twisted. That's why he says you have to give up your individuality, because he's like, look, if you're just a scumfuck pirate who's just trying to do nothing or whatever,
we let you
like, we wouldn't ask you to do that. Like,
yeah, like, we can make you a warlord, and I guess that's kind of whatever. But like, you're one of the only factions in the entire world who are actively campaigning against our entire system,
and your like, power
we know
is
in your
strong.
soul. Yeah, and also we know in your soul you will not give that up. Like you are a true believer, and I know that. And I can't have you, even if it's 20, 30 years from now, I can't have you switching up on me
Facts.
and doing the right shit because
even though they gave up the humanity, he still worked for the Revs and for good. So that goes to show, imagine if he had his humanity, like the world may be a different place with Kuma being a human with all of this power as a warlord instead of being a pacifista.
Right. And then
he could have been almost like not full on Joy Boy, but he could have done Joy Boy shit this whole time.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, look, the Revs
very much a disciple. Like
the Revs could have been active by now. Like if Kuma still has his humanity, it is a warlord. Like what? That shit's crazy.
Also, Kuma's Jolly Roger being Bonnie's little drawing of him.
Oh, very wholesome.
Like, come on, man. Yeah. Come on, man. Like
very wholesome. Very wholesome.
It's too much. It's realistically it's too much going on. But there was something else I wanted to talk about, not Kuma related, but I'm not sure if y'all wanted to go to that first. I guess it's like the meeting of the warlords and how
that's where I was going next too.
Like yeah, and how they talk about Ace, which is like it's always good to see Ace. I ain't gonna lie, more Ace gas. I guess he needs it, but
fuck that donut nigga, man.
Whatever. Anyway,
and everybody, no, y'all be getting y'all Shank slander on. Let me get my Ace slander out for a little bit.
When have I ever slandered Shanks? That's your boy Pharaoh. That's not us.
That's not you. Yeah, don't give Versa no slack. Don't give Versa no slack. He is a Shank slant. Him and Pharaoh be going at it, boy, in the Discord, and they
that's why you say y'all.
You know what? That is right. You know what? You're right, Lynn. Let me appease you. I'm gonna give you something that your Grandmaster Shanks would appreciate. Next time we're hanging out, I'll get you a bunch of cheese, a big old wheel of cheese. That way you can snack on it like a greasy little rat. Anyway.
See what I'm saying?
Just saying?
You bring that cheese, I'll bring the donuts. We'll have a good time. Cause fuck that donut, nigga. And now the community is saying, oh, the man marked by flames. That's the warlord that Ace beat. Why on God's green earth would a former warlord have the last poneglyph?
Guys, let me explain this very simple.
Mm-hmm.
The warlord that Ace beat is Jinbei, who was taking temporarily out of commission.
But I thought they said it wasn't Jinbei. I thought they said like this person is not. This is someone else.
Well, from the way that Ace was talking, he was like, "So they finally found a replacement. That's great news, Jinbei." I think that's what he meant. I think he was like poking fun at Jinbei, like, "Hey, I beat your ass, but at least they found a new employee to take your place."
Okay.
Like,
well, I'm just letting y'all know. Also, the community has been making theories about this. As soon as this chapter dropped, I saw a bunch of people in the One Piece community saying that that's the man marked by flames, and I was like, "What? Come on, brother, no."
Well, let me just very easily just again explain this. It is the only warlord that we have who canonically Ace beat in a fight, or at least fought for 3 days, was Jinbei. We know that for sure. They fought. I think Jinbei had to step back after the fight, as the rest of them were like pulling their forces together. First of all, we never have known how long the warlords have been active, ever. That's never been clarified. Or if there were always 7. It's just by the time that Luffy came through, there were 7 of them. Kuma seems to be the last one on deck, and of the OG cast.
Of the OG people.
Also, one reason why I said that is because we know Jinbei never wanted to be a goddamn warlord. He had to Fishman Island, and in this very chapter, he's talking with Whitebeard, probably about formalizing Whitebeard. Yes, but formalizing with Whitebeard about Whitebeard taking Fishman Island under his protection, which we know also happens.
True. Right. And look, I don't think it's that. That's why I came in. That's why I came and shitted on that theory, because I'm with y'all. I think it's Jinbei as well.
Also, maybe at this point in time in the story, I just feel like the man marked by flames is Jesus Christ. Man marked by flames is going to be like kind of like a red herring. I don't think it's gonna be something as simple as like these hints we're getting. Like, I mean, it may, but like I just don't believe it would be that simple.
To me, it's just
whoever ends up being on fine with it.
To me, it just seems like it needs to be Dragon or Scopper Gaban. That's where I'm at with it, because it would only make sense that Crocus was in the beginning, Rayleigh was in the middle, Scopper Gaban's the last ultimate test. And if he's supposed to be the Sanji of that crew, I could see Sanji, if Luffy was like, hey, blah, 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 I'm done. Sanji would be like, no. I'm not letting just anybody go and be the next Luffy. Like Zoro would be in the middle, like, yeah, I'll help train you if you can fight, sure. But Sanji would take it so seriously, like, you got, and like how Scopper was with Odin, like, I got to see you do something to show me. And I feel like if that's Scopper, I could get down at the end.
See, the only thing about the man marked by flames where I feel like it has to relate, like, I'm only thinking because, like, I might be wrong about this, but wasn't there a road poneglyph on Fishman Island, but it's gone now? So
Yes.
isn't that the one that he has? So I feel like, I'm not saying the man marked by flames has to be a Fishman.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, they have to have some type of relationship or connection to Fishman
Or have been
Island
there.
to be able to take, yeah.
And that's why I was thinking Scopper, because he's been there multiple times with the Whitebeard, with the Roger Pirates or whatever. Could be Dragon, could be a Fishman. I could be down with any of them. I'm not tripping. Versus where you want to go with the chapter.
I'd be down with the Fishman because they're marked by the sun anyway.
True,
so
true. I will say I like seeing Doflamingo back in with the Warlord conversation. Like seeing Robin. You got an Alvida shot, Mihawk, Ace, Blackbeard with the crew, Boa, and then Dragon just looking like a bitch. God, Dragon, do something, please.
Oh my God, Alvida.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm just sad. I'm a Dragon fan, and I'm just sad. That's all.
I'm glad Oda decided to grace us with yet another nasty woman.
Oh yeah, the nurse.
Khalifa's mom. Yeah, Khalifa's mom. It looks like, because it says direct termination would be Alufa. So
interesting. Yeah, that's pretty.
And she
cool.
does look kind of like her.
She does. She does.
Oh, also, in case you guys didn't notice, way at the very start of the chapter, that's X-Drake up there.
Yeah,
on the
bottom left panel.
Yeah. And it makes sense why when he saw Kizaru at Saba Odi, they had that reaction. Makes sense because Kizaru felt a connection to him. X-Drake was probably under Kizaru's command, if I had to guess. Knowing this now.
Be honest, X-Drake looks better like that, in my opinion. But that's
than the glasses.
Personal preference. I don't know. Something about X-Drake.
I don't know. I don't like his weird little like fin in the back, but I think that's
I don't like his mushroom head, his like hair. It's not a mushroom. It's like a radish. Yeah, I don't like his radish top.
Yeah, he got that. What is it? Yonji. He got that Yonji cut.
And I don't fuck with the
pointy.
Yep, I don't fuck with the Yonji cut at all.
But yeah, I will say this. I think we had very good amounts of we needed more humanization of Vegapunk, especially after last chapter. He was like, it ain't gonna be for free. And now he's like, I am totally against you turning a man into just a robot. That is fuck. I will do cyborg shit all day, every day. But like trying to like take a soul out. And it also makes sense with his view and his theory on what devil roots and stuff are. This man is almost like very Shinto in the way he's like everything has a soul. Until you like replace all of its meat with just a bunch of electronics and make it brain dead.
Vegapunk is really about science. Like he's about pure science, like, but not the Caesar type where he's willing to harm people. He's all about science as long as he doesn't have to harm anyone. You can see that.
He wants to be ethical about it, which isn't to say that he'll be totally straight with you. He will be like, he'll use leverage, but like he does want your consent. He won't just start like chopping bits off and replacing them.
Reminds me of Einstein not wanting to do the nuclear bomb type shit.
Yeah. Sure. Also I loved Bonnie and Satomaru interacting more of the chapter. Real big bro, little sis vibes.
I love how she called him a weirdo.
Makes sense why he went to save her. Like that's his little sister.
Man, I hope everybody in this starting five, like I'm not even opposed to everybody in this starting five getting a lick off on Saturn. Just at least something. Just give me something. They all deserve it.
I'm not mad at it.
Satomaru clearly isn't all the way done. I think Satomaru is gonna get at least one more thing to do, even if it's his death.
I could get down with that.
He's still standing, even though he's like Charworld.
Yeah, facts. Big
Yeah.
facts.
Also, I like how we got Proto Vegapunks, the little weird half robot, and him talking about being like, I need to chop up my gourd because the memory, the inventions don't stop flowing. So I thought this whole thing was actually very good for developing Egghead itself, which is a place that we've been to and is very cool.
It was good Egghead lore for sure, and making it less really about the yeah, exactly. Like it's been about going to Shanks, going to Garp, going to Blackbeard, going to Aokiji. This was very good for making it make sense why this matters where we're at type situation, and why these people are here that matter. So, anything else y'all got about the chapter? It's nice that Kuma's going to see
we got it
at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we want to have predictions about what's happening with the last two panels?
Well, see, that's what I was gonna ask y'all. That's part of your bet.
That was for sure a curveball. I'm not even going to lie. I could not have seen that coming.
Me neither. And I think that plays into why he ended up saving them at Sabo. I think we're gonna figure out why he ended up saving them at Sabaody. And I guess that'll start off. That'll be my first bet is him going to Fuchsia Village will give us some insight into protecting Luffy and why he made that decision. That'll be my small bet. And I guess my big bet is that the chapter ends with the flashback ending and Kuma's at Egghead. That has to be my big one. Like, is it time? Are we here?
Now, before I make my bet, I must ask this question. Because when chapter 1044 came out, a lot of people were saying that the Gorosei was incompetent. Is this them trying to make up for the fact that, I'm not gonna say them, but I'm just gonna say, like, was this like a contingency plan? Like, because they knew Shanks took the Nika. I'm still gonna.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So they knew that. They knew that. Yeah. So like they knew that he took it. And that he was stationed in the East Blue, correct? I feel like they knew that. So maybe, and they talked about this in the beginning of the chapter, about like how a lot of the warlords don't listen. Like none of the warlords would go out of their way to go to the East Blue. I mean, except for Mihawk, but he was only doing that because Don Krieg pissed him off. So it's like he's not going to the East Blue.
That's a good point.
World government orders.
I think you're right. I actually and that ties into more of my bet. I think you're right. I think they might have sent him to do this. And I think whatever happens, he ends up liking Luffy and he sees the joy boyness of it in him and thus redeeming him. Or Dragon says something like it has to be one or the other, or some Dragon shit, something like that. But I like to believe it's the joy boy. He sees the joy boy in Luffy, thus making it, I want to save this kid type situation.
Well, he said he's always looking to the east. I'm not sure if that lines up with when he said that. Because no, I don't think that lines up. Because
that was Yvonne. That was after. Yeah, saying that about Dragon, and that was definitely after for sure.
It was after.
But all right, yeah, what you got for your bets, Jazz?
Goddamn, that fucking dude. This last panel threw me a curveball. You know what? Safe bet. I feel safe bet is. We get to see the perspective of Thriller Bark and Sabaody Archipelago through Kuma's eyes, maybe even Marineford, right? And as it kind of gets to, like, it kind of trickles down into the present, because I feel like that's where we're going to, and then we cut back to Bonnie. Now, my bigger bet is that I'm gonna just go with that the government sent Kuma as a contingency plan to the East Blue because they lost the Gum fruit. And since Kuma's the only one who's going to obey orders no matter what,
he went.
They sent him there.
I like it. I like your bets. Version, what you got?
Small bet. Kuma, if he hangs out with Luffy at some point in the chapter, may tell Luffy about Dragon. Big bet. I'm not saying it might be on screen, but it might happen. Big bet. Luffy will tell Kuma his real dream. His real actual.
I can see that. I can see that. That's a good one. I like that one. I like that one a lot. I like both of y'all's bets. I like both of y'all's big bet. That's a good one. and that could be even more reason into mine of why he saves him at Sabaody, because he knows his real dream. He knows he's Nika. Boom. Yeah, I like all of our bets.
Oh my God, wait. And that's a really good one, because we don't know what it really says in that Bible.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, Roger said the same thing that Luffy said. But what if Nika said the same thing
that Roger and Luffy said? 100%.
Right.
And it could be he literally could in the Bible have what Nika said and then write down Luffy said. Like he could write down Luffy said the same thing, just so he always remembers, I gotta save this kid before the final programming kicks in type situation and Sabaody happens or whatever. So
right,
dude, man, if our boy Kuma still was the way that he always was, you can't it would have wrecked the whole show, because he would have the second he found out that Luffy was who he was, he would have grabbed a hold of him and he would have been like his disciple, like his John the Baptist. He would be writing the New Testament right now.
He would be in Straw Hat.
He would be on his Barto shit, basically.
Honestly,
from a religious thing.
He might have been Jinbei before he would have probably been the Jinbei of the crew before Jinbei came on, TBH. And I don't know. And funny enough, if you have Kuma, I don't know if you need Jinbei. I know we need Jinbei for the Fishman representation, but what Jinbei does as Luffy's, I don't want to say guardian angel, but the guy that the adult who sees what Luffy can be and wants to protect him no matter what. If you have Kuma there, you don't necessarily need that.
I don't know, but Jinbei was a good anchor though.
Oh no, for sure. And you need Jinbei, but I'm just saying if Kuma joins at Thriller Bark, you don't. What do you need Jinbei for, really? In terms of besides the Fishman dynamic, because you need the Fishman dynamic no matter what. But in terms of the protector of Luffy, Kuma fills that vibe or that role.
Oh yeah, because who's gonna fucking hurt Kuma?
Exactly,
especially after the passive East upgrades.
And think about Marineford, those two running, bro. Ace is out of there. Whitebeard's out of they're all out of there.
Kuma might actually literally just poof them out.
Yeah,
facts. Really.
Facts. He's like, Luffy, what do you need? Done. Swipe. Swipe.
Also, small thing I noticed while I was reading the chapter. There was a cover story, not a cover story. It was a cover art request a while back of Roger painting a face on a tiger and making it pissed off. And I love that Luffy's it kind of resembles the same thing here.
Didn't Luffy do that in the cover story?
I thought Roger did that. Luffy might have done it, and I'm just not remembering.
I thought Luffy did. Might have Roger. I know they both had a tiger cover story recently.
Yeah, and also Young Garp has famously, the image that we have of Young Garp is him beating up a tiger to where lets him ride around on him, and he has a treasure chest under his arm.
So hey man, Tiger Man theories aren't dead. Tiger Man theories aren't dead, baby. Look.
It was Roger. Got it right there for you, Jazz. So it was Roger. Yep. Nice. All right, but that's pretty much everything. Version, go ahead, say your last thing and tell the people they can follow you out on social.
Okay, the last thing I want to say is, again, I know it didn't give the big fight or whatever, but I think it's great for world building and in general. And I just want to say that the core tenets of One Piece, I think this reminded to us because of what they did to Kuma. And as we said, this whole chapter, it didn't even really take. The most dangerous thing in the world is dreamers and true believers. People who dream big and dream amazing and want to see freedom for everyone, and people who believe that even down to the coding of their soul, which is what Kuma is, to the point where even though they said he shouldn't have a soul anymore, shouldn't be a man, he still believed it deep down in his heart the entire time and still believes it even now. That's why he's making his way to Egghead. And I think we all need to, in our individual lives, need to remember that we all can't be Luffy. We all can't live like Kuma. It's not sustainable. But as long as we all dream and as long as we keep that in our hearts, that we know what right is right and what wrong is wrong, we can work together and achieve that.
Fuck yeah.
That being said, you can follow me at Version the Vassal, or you can follow me at Joshua Trosclair, pretty much anywhere. Instagram and Twitter. I'm getting that Blue Sky code done this week, I guess. And I just want to thank you guys for joining me for this excellent chapter. I really had a fun time reviewing it with y'all.
Hell yeah, man. Jazz, tell the people they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me on Instagram, Jazzy Boy. You can follow me on Twitter, Real Jazzy Boy. You can follow me on TikTok, Cornell D God.
Hell yeah. Make sure y'all go follow Jazz. Y'all can follow me on LinBWT on TikTok and Twitter. Follow the Bros Who Think at Bros Who Think. We got a lot coming out. If you want to know about what's the plans going forward for the Bros Who Think, be sure to check out the Bros Who Think podcast this week. We got a lot to discuss. But until the next One Piece video, which will be coming out fairly soon, until then, y'all have a good one and peace.